Good afternoon, this is Kyle Beisner with my final project for the practicum, fall of 2013. Personal intro and goals, just some basic information. Been teaching in the district for 8 years before I became the building principal last year. I graduated from KU, been married to my wife for 10 years, and we have 2 wonderful children. Some things that I enjoy and kind of what I was looking forward to in the practicum. Philosophy statement. Sometimes can be hard to put into words. It's maybe easier to explain, but this is what I've used the last couple of years. Major objective and problems or problem situation in our school. We have a high percentage of economically disadvantaged students. The challenge we've been facing lately has been students who are not really invested in their education. They're kind of apathetic to their education. I think they struggle to see a means to an end, so our focus has been to try and get students planning ahead and maybe seeing something that they're interested in post-secondary and giving them an opportunity to find ways to achieve that. Start with my elementary log of activities, try and go through them in order to make it in the 15-minute time span. MTSS meetings, we have those monthly with our elementary school. There's a kind of a notes. We just go through class by class. Teachers talk about students based on a couple different assessment activities. We help identify them and get them the necessary assistance they need. Also had a child in need of care. At our elementary parent-teacher conferences, which are different than our high school. If teachers have a concern about a conference, I meet with them beforehand, and we, they can request that I be in the room or at least in the building. I kind of go back and forth on that evening. Our high school and our elementary on the same evening at the same time. We paraded our students downtown for the Halloween parade. We applied for it and were approved for a Kansas Reading Initiative. And we are using the Lexia Core 5 reading program. Just got started with it really a couple weeks ago. Teachers have had a real positive response to it after working some bugs out. The only downfall being the time. It is difficult to find enough time. The program itself kind of identifies how much time each student needs to assist them in reading, and some students need 40 minutes of practice a week, and other students could need upwards of 60 or more a week. So that's been the only difficult part. District activities. I met with the board last year and got their approval to start a district Facebook page. Got a lot of really good response to it, and look to use it for more and more ways to connect with the community as time goes on. Monthly Board of Education meetings. Nothing real exciting. There's our agenda from our November meeting. I have to provide a principal's report at each board meeting. We have monthly administrator meetings. This is a new thing this year. Our new superintendent initiated this. It's been something I've really enjoyed. Our local assessment cards are something we do as a district. Our teachers do them, our high school teachers do them kind of with the students. We have them look at them at the beginning of the year. Kind of outlines, what they're going to be responsible for learning as the year goes on. And then again at the end of the year, we go back over them with the teachers, and they kind of assess themselves, and the teachers assess them, on their learning for the year. At our district lockdown drill, we have to have a minimum of 2 a year. High school activities. I started off the year with a couple activities. Our building meeting with faculty and staff is a great way to start off the year. Here's the agenda from our building meeting with faculty and staff, some things that I go over with them, discussion points and kind of emphasis for the year. And then again, the first meeting of the year with the students, kind of a welcome back to school. Again, a great way to kick off the year. Everybody's excited that first day of school. We had a placement meeting to start the school year off. A student came to our district who had not been in general education, and we got our co-op involved in order to have that student placed in the setting that would best meet their needs. It was kind of an interesting way to begin the year. Supervision of activities, ongoing and throughout the year. Being a small 1A school, we don't have a full-time athletic director, so I'm in charge of supervision of the activities. Something you unfortunately have to deal with as the years go on is a suspension of a student. Some stuff's pretty cut and dry. It's based on your school's handbook and your policy, and so those are outlined. And IEP meetings again throughout the year. I kind of like being involved in those just as a way to be involved in setting plans for students to help them be successful. We've been meeting with a manufacturing plant, AGCO, hoping to get them involved in our school. We've had a couple meetings with them about them providing some resources for us, and in return, we're going to provide certified welders from the high school that would be able to work at the plant while they we have a lot of students that go to the Votech school in Beloit, and so we're looking at it as a way that both parties can get something out of the agreement. Dress code, something you have to look at throughout the year in a high school. We had a truancy issue to deal with in September and October. This one luckily had a really great outcome. We got the student back into school, into regular attendance. We're able to provide some makeup work opportunities, and have really had the students really been great since then. We did have a fight at the school, again kind of looking at suspension and how you handle things like that. Law enforcement had to be involved. Again, something that's not very fun to deal with, but unfortunately comes up. Homecoming week, really a great week to get students and faculty involved together. A lot of fun activities, just a really fun week. Take our sophomores to career day, just another way we're trying to tie in what they're doing now to what they can what they want to do post-secondary. Again, parent-teacher conferences with the high school, a little bit different in our elementary. Our elementary have scheduled times, and we had 100% turnout. In our high school, I think we had just over 50. We had about 54% turnout. Some of that can be attributed to the fact that parents can monitor student progress online now, and in a small rural community, it seems like there's constant communication with the home. Just seeing people at the grocery store, around town, and it's amazing how many parents I talk to a week, and you can just express concerns to the parents at that time, and really a good way to communicate. Faculty meetings, we try to have them every second Tuesday of the month. Teacher evaluation has been something I've been able to be involved with this year, our new McCrell tool. I've actually enjoyed it. Some administrators, I think, complain about it, but I enjoy going into the classroom. I really enjoy just walking around the building a lot of times during the day and going in and out of classrooms. Teachers appreciate that. Eligibility, something we run every 2 weeks to try and kind of monitor student progress and catch anyone who's struggling. Our band played in the Veterans Day Parade. Went over and supervised that. We've hosted a Scholars Bowl meet, amongst other things. Anytime you host something, there's a lot of work that has to be done prior to the event. Have to do a quarterly report for KSDE on discipline. Here are the results from my practicum experience. I think reflection being the thing that I really got most out of the practicum, and hopefully something that I'll carry forward. Summary reflection, looking at some different stages related to the practicum experience, kind of what I felt coming into it. I had maybe a different outlook on the experience, being that I was already working as a building leader, so it wasn't necessarily that I was working with another principal on helping complete activities. It was, again, doing those activities already. Sharing with classmates and just kind of getting other people's outlook on leadership was something I really take away from this. It's something I do now. There's 3 or 4 principals that I really kind of lean on and communicate with almost weekly, just running ideas by and talking to them about how they handle situations that they're building. And moving forward in my career, you look at the ISLIC standards are something that I maybe misunderstood or um, didn't completely understand at the start of my graduate work at Fort Hays State, but really moving forward is something I will use to reflect and kind of guide leadership decisions. Looking at the bibliography and some things. Uh, Again, this is something the practicum really helped with. Um, looking for research on issues or concerns you might have at your school, and that's kind of what I used to guide what I was looking for. Just kind of looking at high school principals and what kind of difference they can make in student achievement. This was a really neat article about that. Again, I talked about student apathy, so something I was looking into was how teachers could motivate, how to improve student practices, or excuse me, teaching practices, and how teachers need to be motivated, just like we want our students to be motivated. With a lot of young teachers in our building, but in the two buildings that I'm the administrator at, I was looking at just some real basic classroom management stuff to provide them. And I found a couple good articles, a couple good research tools. This one talked about the environment of the classroom and student achievement, and how those are relatable. In a rural community, even though I talk about how we see parents, can talk to parents, sometimes the concern is parent involvement, unfortunately, and so I looked at a couple different studies on parent involvement and how teachers responded to that. This one was interesting, talked about the value added and kind of what's in it for the teachers, depending on how involved parents get. And the last couple articles and studies I looked at were, again, related to student engagement, and enhancing. The two that stuck out as I write here: enhancing student self-belief and adapting to changing student expectations. I think we need to make sure student expectations are clear. We need to know what they get out of, what they expect to get out of their education. Helping students appreciate school content. Again, a lot of times, the question we've heard over and over is, why do I need to know this? Why do I need to learn this? And we've really focused on relating that to the students. Final article here was problem behaviors. Again, something we deal with at our school like everybody does, and how teachers and students can relate to each other. Being a procrastinator, unfortunately, I will add my superintendent's signature here for the summative evaluation form. He was at the KASB meetings in Wichita.